Alright, so picking my topic for this speech was probably the hardest for me, and I just decided to go with something I'm comfortable with, which at the beginning of the year, y'all asked what I was interested in, and it was cars. So today my speech will be on larger engine blocks versus smaller ones. I would like all of y'all to imagine that it's the year 1965, and you're in the market for a brand new car. You head down to the local Ford dealership, and you notice 3 cars: the Mustang, the Fairlane, and the Thunderbird, all of which come with no engine smaller than a V6. But at the time, it's the norm, and they all have more than enough horsepower for your needs. So the Mustang ends up catches your eye, and you decide to purchase it, which, according to an article written on ClassicPonyCars.com, you were amongst the 200,000 or so others that purchased the Mustang that year. So as you're driving along away from the dealership, somehow, some way, by miracle or not, you end up in a large vat of liquid nitrogen, and both you and the car are frozen in a state of uncertainty. Fast forward to the present. It's now April 2015. You're finally thawed out. You continue down the same road, unscathed, and just going on with your day. You come to a stop sign, and you pull up to a modern 4-door car, what's made out of what looks to you some weird type of plastic. He revs his engine, and you're not intimidated. You're in your brand new 1965 Mustang. You slam your foot down on the accelerator, and as you pull away in a puff of smoke, you feel happy. But then sadness comes, because he's right next to you, and moments later, he's past you. You're hurt. Your brand new 1965 failed you. You pull up to the next stop sign next to him again, roll down your window and ask him, what type of engine do you have? He tells you it's a 4-cylinder. You look down, disappointed, because contrary to popular belief, larger engines are not better than smaller ones. For a long time, and even today, people believe that just because one car had a larger engine than the one next to it, it performed better all around. And maybe in 1965 that would have been the truth. But today, through new innovations and other factors, that's not necessarily the truth. I myself drive a car powered by a small 4-cylinder engine. And this prompted me to both have the motivation and attention span to research into this topic. So, through my speech today, I will highlight some problems that come up when larger engines are implemented in today's automobiles, as well as some solutions to the problems I highlight, and what you can do if you feel motivated enough. Now, let's discuss some problems that come up when cars are designed with larger engines. For one, a larger engine in itself is usually bigger, and that accounts for extra weight that's added to the vehicle, as well as needing a larger support system, which again adds to more weight. And to the general consumer, this might not be a big deal, but when it comes to performance, shaving weight anywhere is usually a plus. And according to an article written on mpgenhanced.com, for every 100 pounds shed from the curb weight of a vehicle, there is a noticeable increase in acceleration as if you had gained 10 horsepower overnight. Also, in an article entitled Cars on a Diet, written by Lynette Chia in 2010, for every 10% decrease in weight, there is a noticeable decrease of 7% in fuel consumption, which to me is pretty remarkable. Not only do larger engines are physically bigger and way more, they also take up more room underneath the hoods. I myself can personally attest to this because over the spring break, I was spending time with my grandma and she asked me to change the spark plugs in her car. And I go and I pop open the hood, and to my surprise, there's a V6 packed tightly underneath the hood.
Grandma.
And it left me with little to no room to work on it, which made the job instantly harder. Besides a decrease in space to work on it, there was also an abundance of heat created due to the lack of space. And according to an article written by Gary Borman entitled Internal Combustion Engine Heat Transfer in Progress in Energy and Combustion Science in 1987, this heat abundance can lead to a 3 to 4% decrease in volumetric efficiency of the engine, which is just negative. So, although these are not all the problems that we have with larger engines, they're all the ones that I have time to say today. So, with the ones that I said today, you might find yourself asking, what are the solutions to some of these? And in itself, the solution in its simplest form would be to substitute a smaller engine into these vehicles. In regards to the weight problem, smaller engines have the advantage in that, well, they're physically smaller, so they do weigh less. But in recent years, we have seen a surge in increase of vehicles coming out with four-cylinder engines made out of cast aluminum, which is both lightweight and durable, which is able to maintain the high horsepower numbers that everybody was chasing in 1965. Through the use of small engines, turbochargers, and new innovations such as AVLT, or Adaptive Valve Lift and Timing, which according to an article written by Abdul Rashid in September of 2014 in Applied Mechanics and Materials, adjustment of valve lift and timing aids in a better flow of air on the intake side, which leads to an effective increase in efficiency. With altogether, all these factors lead to both a lightweight and powerful package beneath the hood of the cars today. In order to fix the space issue when working on cars, a smaller engine also has its advantages. What took me hours to do on my grandmother's car would have taken me probably less than 30 minutes on my own. Just because my car was designed with a smaller engine, so it had more space to be worked around. In recent years, more and more people have gone, or more and more companies have designed cars with smaller engines. And we can even see this in media today. With the latest installment in the Fast and Furious series, Furious 7, according to an article titled The Inside Track to Furious 7, written by Luke Miono in Super Street magazine in April of this year. Among the many massive V8 Chargers on the roster for this movie, there was one vehicle in its stock form which is indeed powered by a four-cylinder engine, which is this car right here. I believe that over time, more and more people will realize the advantages of smaller engines and lean towards these options due to the innovations and the efficiency that we have created today. So maybe the next time you pull up to a stop sign, you're in the car boasting a four-cylinder engine, and you look over and you see a guy in a somewhat wet, liquid nitrogen-looking 1965 Mustang, and you can hear the rumble of his large engine from inside your car. And he smiles as he slams on his throttle and pulls away. And because of the torque and weight of his car, there's a large smoke cloud. But then you're not fazed, because you know he has no idea. Because you slam your foot on your accelerator, and you pull up to him, and you pass him, knowing full well that contrary to popular belief, larger engines are not better than smaller ones. In the past, most people, or a lot of people, speculated that bigger engines merely meant better performance. But now, through innovations, that is not necessarily the truth. With this being said, you might ask, what can I do to obtain one of these cars powered by a smaller engine? And for those truly motivated, I would point you to the direction of your local car dealer, which I have the website here and the address and their number. That you can set up an appointment to see what you can do to obtain one of these cars. That way, you're not left in the mentality of 1965.